Well, the thing was that Ken was looking for a new acoustic bass because he was just informed before that Maffei will go on tour again to celebrate his 40th stage anniversary. And because they recorded before just a lot of songs new they did the past 40 years, it turned up to that they will perform a lot of those songs acoustically. And yeah, so we met the first time at the headquarters, and finally it ended up in what was planned as a 2-hour meeting. We ended up about in an 8-hour talk. I was just fascinated by the person, and I said, "Oh, do you know that album? I like it very much." And he said, "Of course I do too, because I play the bass on it." Wow! So, and more, it turned out I started to recognize what a great guy he is, and what a big guy is, and what kind of recordings he did in the past besides doing Maffei. Well, a couple of days later I called Ken and I said, "Okay, I have your basses ready to can send them to you." And he said, No, it's not necessary, so why don't you come by and visit me in my home? I said, "Of course, I would love to." So I took the basses to a car and drove down to see Ken in his privacy. And we were sitting and having this really fantastic dinner together, the real original Caribbean food. And believe it or not, we ended up talking another 8 hours. Not about making basses, just talking about like friends talk. To my big surprise, he called me from time to time to express how much he loves to play on the basses and how much he feels comfortable with them, and how much the other members of the band like the sound, especially sound engineer Colin, who is Colin Norfield, who is doing the sound for Maffei, and he is also responsible for mixing Pink Floyd or David Gilmour solo, how much he is satisfied with the signal he gets into the mixing desk. And actually I don't remember how many phone calls we did, but in one of those phone calls I just asked him, "Hey, do you want me to do a signature bass for you?" And well, he was really surprised, and they said, "Of course, if you want to do it." And I said, "Yes, I want to do it." Well, it took a couple of weeks, but exactly about 2 days before the first rehearsals started, the basses were ready and they arrived in Germany. So I called Ken again and said, "Hey, I have your basses here. You want to try them out directly in the rehearsals?" He said, "Yes, of course, but we are in Wolfsburg and everything is set up for rehearsals." I said, "Yeah, no problem. I'm going to come up to Wolfsburg." Because of traffic, I really was late, and I just was there about 10 minutes before they started rehearsals. And I was even more scared when I saw on the set list that the first song is an acoustic bass song, and Ken wanted to hardly see his new basses and wanted to use them on the first song. So I just took them out of the gig bag, and Klaus, his technician, he just said, "Hey, can I tune them first?" So there was only time to tune them, just set up the strap, plug in, and they started rehearsals. And maybe for a minute I was sitting, and then everybody turned around, thumbs up, and I saw that really smile on Ken's face, and also heard the sound on in-ear monitoring. So it sounded great, he felt very comfortable, and the band was smiling. And I think this is really the best proof you can do for an instrument, just like having no time to explain, having no time to talk about, just plug in and play. And especially with that kind of big production, I was really honored, and from that moment on I didn't feel scared anymore at all. I just was smiling, everybody was smiling, and yeah. And this is how the Ken Taylor bass was born. I think you like the bass.
I really do. As you mentioned, getting from the factory straight to the players, I'm glad that one of them got here, because I'm really happy with it. and being on stage and going on tour now. We're on an extensive tour. It's going to take us to the end of the year, so I'm really happy with it. You know, the sound, you know, and you know, an acoustic bass is not easy to find a good one, and one that fits to a player. For each player, naturally, it's very subjective. But for me, you know, we've been, you know, trying to find one for so many years. The one that will fit this moment.
Oh, nice words.
It's really
Well,
nice.
right after doing 2 weeks of rehearsals, like the basses went directly on tour, exactly the way they were done the first time. So there were no changes on the basses. So the ones we do now in series is exactly the same bass. We did the first prototypes the same way. So, which is totally unusual. Normally you would think of, you have to change this, have to change this. We didn't change anything. Ken loves the basses, like we did them from the first moment on, and it's exactly the bass he played from the first moment on.
And the thing is that the other members of the band, they turn around and say, "Oh, what is that? This is great." Straight out of the box, as they say. And Colin said to me, "What is that? That sounds great. Leave it the way it is. Don't change a thing." I said, "Thanks, Colin. Can I tune up first?" It sounds so great, even though I have to cover it.
Sure.
So, I mean,
Sure. What's especially you like about it?
well, I mean, the form, the handling is wonderful, you know, and it's great to look at anyway. I mean, you know, look at this. Look at this.
Oh, well, yeah.
You know, flame mahogany, fantastic.
Yeah,
And it's just lovely to handle straight off the bat. You know, you don't have to really sort of fight to get warm with it. It's straight there.
There's another important thing that makes Ken Taylor and also his wife Felicia different, which we really love about them. Normally, if somebody gives his name to make a signature instrument, there will be royalties for him. And from the first moment on, we agreed that we're going to donate these royalties 100% into charity. So a part of the money you pay for the bass, if you purchase one, will be put into a charity project Ken Taylor and his wife choose. And I have to say we are very proud to be a part of it.